A wolf leaps into an open well. When they drag it out, already dead, they don't bury it. They dress it in a man's clothes, they fit it with a wig. They fasten a bearded mask over its severed snout, and they hang it from a gallows, the way you hang a murderer. Why would an entire town punish an animal as if it were a condemned human being? Because they were convinced that inside that wolf, there was no wolf at all. There was a man who was already dead and buried, and who, they believed, had come back. Bavaria, the year 1685, and what those people thought they had hunted was far stranger than a simple beast. Stay with me, because the most disturbing part isn't how the wolf ended. It's who they believed they were killing for the second time. Let's start with the facts, the ones that are well documented. The Beast of Ansbach was a man-eating wolf that attacked and killed an unknown number of people in the Principality of Ansbach in 1685, then part of the Holy Roman Empire. At first, it was a nuisance that preyed on livestock, but soon the wolf began attacking children. That alone was already a nightmare for a farming community. Ansbach is in modern-day Bavaria. In 1685, a wolf began attacking livestock and children in the Principality of Ansbach, in the modern German state of Bavaria, then part of the Holy Roman Empire. At first, nothing out of the ordinary for the time. Wolf attacks were a real and frequent threat. But this animal didn't behave like the others. And this is where the story starts to twist, because this wolf didn't flee from people, it hunted them. The escalation caused a deep social upheaval in Ansbach and the surrounding villages, as panic gripped communities unused to such bold behavior from a wolf in the late 17th century. Neighbors began moving only in armed groups, carrying weapons into the fields and along the roads, while many avoided working or playing outdoors alone. Picture that, a field you can no longer cross alone, children you no longer let outside, an entire town learning to move as a pack, out of fear of a single beast. And the more afraid they grew, the harder they searched for an explanation, one that would make sense of something that had none. Here comes the turn. Because the explanation they chose wasn't biological, it was supernatural. The people of the Ansbach region believed the animal was a werewolf, the reincarnation of their dead and cruel Pfleger, their administrator, Michael Leicht, whose recent death no one had mourned. Stop on that detail. This wasn't just any werewolf, it had a first and last name. Who was Michael Leicht? Here the sources agree on the essentials, though we should be cautious with the embellishments. Michael Leicht was a former Pfleger, a local administrator, notoriously corrupt and despised, who had died shortly before the attacks began. A hated official, a man who, it was said, had ruled through abuse and fraud, and who had died without a single tear shed for him. And then, soon after his death, the wolf appears. To the mindset of 1685, that coincidence was no coincidence. It was a signature. This is where it gets truly strange. Because we're not talking about a vague rumor. We're talking about people swearing to specific things. Some townspeople believed the killer was no mere wolf driven by a lack of deer, but the recently deceased Michael Leicht, who had a bad reputation for fraud. Those citizens swore they had seen Michael Leicht watching his own funeral, and that he prowled the town at night, wrapped in white linen. A dead man attending his own burial, a figure draped in white sheets wandering by night. In short, they thought the killer was possessed by the devil, and this wasn't an isolated phenomenon in Europe. These beliefs were part of something far larger and far darker. Because you have to understand the world all this happened in. It's estimated that over just 300 years, from the 14th to the 17th century, as many as 100,000 people were executed in Europe accused of being werewolves. France and Germany in particular were shaken by these creatures, and in both countries the werewolf epidemics sparked genuine collective fear. Because turning into a wolf was seen as the result of magic, werewolf trials fell within the broader phenomenon of the witch hunts. So the panic in Ansbach didn't come out of nowhere. It came from an entire continent that already believed, with all its soul, that a man could turn into a beast. And now the practical question, how do you hunt something you believe is half demon? With patience, and with traps. The beast was then pursued with traps and wolf pits. The hunters organized a drive, and here comes the moment burned into every account. During an organized hunt near Neuses, close to Eschenbach, the locals managed to flush the wolf from a nearby forest and chase it with dogs until it leapt into an uncovered well-seeking shelter. A well. The animal, cornered, throws itself into an open well, according to some versions, lured there by bait, and there, trapped, with no way out. Cornered, the wolf was killed. The end of the threat. The town at last could breathe. But it didn't, because what came next had nothing to do with killing a dangerous animal. It had to do with punishing a man. And this is where the case stops resembling any other wolf hunt you've ever heard of. The wolf's corpse was paraded through the town market. They dressed it in a man's clothes, and after cutting off its snout, the crowd fitted it with a mask, a wig, and a beard on its head, giving it the appearance of the former administrator. Think about it. They cut off the snout to erase the wolf. They put Michael Leicht's face on it to reveal the man they believed hidden underneath. And then they executed. The wolf's body was hung from a gallows for all to see until it was preserved for permanent display in a local museum. A gallows, the punishment reserved for human criminals. Applied to a dead animal. Why? What was the point? Scholars offer a fascinating interpretation, and here we enter the realm of theory, not pure fact. On one hand, stripping the wolf of its fur and replacing it with human clothes meant showing Satan himself that his tricks didn't work. The people of Ansbach were able to recognize the man hidden beneath the skin. It was then a warning aimed at the devil himself. This is how your wicked servants end up around here, and it carried a clear protective intent. But there was another layer, one far more human and perhaps far sadder. On the other hand, there was an undeniable political aspect. It was an execution by proxy of the old ruler. The commoners who had failed to overthrow their oppressor in life did it after his death. And there's the key to all of it. They hanged a wolf, because they could never hang the man. The case even inspired popular verses, written as if the wolf itself was speaking from the gallows, lamenting that it had devoured the children of men. And now, the question you've waited for all episode. What was the Beast of Ansbach really? Here, modern science offers an answer far more sober than a demon. In the case of the Beast of Ansbach, it's now thought it was probably an ordinary wolf, so cunning that they assumed it possessed the power of human reasoning. And there's an even more concrete explanation for its unnatural ferocity. In hindsight, the wolf's erratic aggression, its lack of fear toward humans, and its possible foaming at the mouth fit the symptoms of rabies, a viral disease that historically fueled werewolf myths by causing hydrophobia, spasms, and frenzied attacks in infected canines. Contemporaries, lacking that knowledge, read those traits as proof of demonic possession or lycanthropy. There you have it. A wolf, probably sick with rabies, its behavior altered by the virus. Fearless, aggressive in broad daylight, attacking the weakest. Not a demon, not a resurrected official, just a sick animal, and a terrified town that needed a culprit with a face. But hold on to this final image, because the truly chilling thing about Ansbach isn't the wolf, it's the people. A town so certain it had hunted down its dead tyrant that it cut off an animal's snout, fitted it with a mask of his face, and hanged it from a gallows for all of Bavaria to watch it swing. They killed a wolf twice, once as a beast, and once as a man. And that second death was never about the wolf.